Did you know that there are actually ways a Doberman owner can unknowingly find themselves in hot water with, among other things, the law? It's true, it can and it does happen to everyday Doberman owners, and today I'm going to shed light on exactly how this happens, how serious the violations can be, and how likely it is to actually occur. So watch this video to the very end because it only gets more serious as we go down this list, and the last two are some pretty serious crimes, and you're only getting this level of insight into Doberman ownership here at Doberman Planning. Please keep in mind that I'm a trainer who specializes in the Doberman breed and I am not a lawyer. Also, laws are always changing, and while certain laws may not exist at a state level, for example, there can still be laws that affect you at a local level, such as through a city ordinance. So it's important that you check the laws and regulations where you live and don't simply rely on this video. Okay, let's jump straight into it. Okay, we're going from the least serious to the most serious. So the first way a Doberman owner can get into trouble is by unknowingly violating their homeowner's or renter's insurance policy. This isn't too serious in all reality, but it can definitely be a pain. So I'm going to rate this a 4 out of 10 on the seriousness scale, but the likelihood of you actually committing this violation of their policy is fairly high, since a lot of insurance companies now do have a banned breed list in their policies. So we're calling it a 7 out of 10 for the likelihood of this violation actually occurring. In fact, USA Today did a study where they looked at 40 homeowners insurance policies across the US, and they found that the Doberman was the most banned dog breed in these policies. They were followed by the Pit Bull in the number 2 spot and the Rottweiler as the number 3 most banned breed. That's absolutely insane to me, and man, I wish I could argue dog bite statistics with some of these insurance companies. And guess what? If you do own a Doberman in violation of your policy, you might randomly find your policy canceled, or your rates could one day just drastically increase, or a claim you made could just simply be denied because you chose a Doberman as a type of dog to bring into your family. What about renter's insurance? Well, they also ban many dog breeds, and if your policy has a banned breeds list, you can bet the Doberman is on there as well. So whether you rent or you own, you still might be up the creek if you have a Doberman. The next most serious way Doberman owners get into trouble is through violating their lease. Now, many landlords ban dogs entirely, but even if they only ban certain breeds, you can bet that a Doberman is on that list. We're getting a touch more serious now, in my opinion, and I mean, we are talking about the roof over your head, so that's why I'm giving this a 7 out of 10 on the seriousness level. But it's gonna get a lot more serious and worse on this list in a minute. And so many landlords, by the way, are now doing this, and that's why we're kind of giving this a likeliness rating of actually occurring of a 5 out of 10. This is becoming pretty common. In fact, take a look at this portion of a lease we found as an example. As you can see, this is a pet agreement. So this landlord does allow pets, but you can see in this section, under the specifically prohibited breeds, you'll see the Doberman Pinscher clearly listed. It actually gets even worse than that, surprisingly, because if you look in this section, under visiting pets, you'll see that the Doberman Pinscher is also listed as a breed of pet that can't even visit you if you live in this property. And per this agreement, if you live here and violate this rule, you may only get 48 hours notice to permanently remove the pet from the premises, and they may also come after you for damages, you could be evicted, and you might even have to pay attorney's fees. Crazy, right? Okay, now we're getting serious here and starting to enter the criminal violations that Doberman owners could unknowingly get caught up in. And the first of these is violation of animal cruelty laws. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 for seriousness because now we're not just talking about civil consequences here, we're actually talking about criminal charges. And in the UK, for example, you could actually get 6 months imprisonment and a significant fine as well for cropping your Doberman's ears or docking their tail. Okay, but I'm also gonna give this only a 2 out of 10 for likelihood because most owners will know to kind of avoid this in the countries where this is a concern. Ooh, but you are going to get some surprises here in a minute. Although ear cropping of Dobermans is incredibly common in the United States, it's illegal in many other parts of the world. For example, it's illegal in most of Europe, Australia, and many other countries. Keep in mind that this is an older map on your screen right now, and laws are always changing. And also, even if though it may be listed here as an unrestricted at a federal level, for example, where you are, it may actually be banned at a more local level of government. So make sure to check your local laws, even if this map says that you're good to go. In fact, I did a video all about the pros and cons of ear cropping Dobermans, which did create a little bit of a stir, and that video should be popping up right there in the corner of your screen. And if you really want to dive headlong into the reasons that the Doberman's ears are cropped, that's the video to check out. Next up are dangerous breed law violations. This is basically when you simply violate a law because you own a Doberman. This is a serious issue that can easily affect Doberman owners, since a Doberman is almost always on any of these lists as a dangerous breed. Now, this is also a criminal offense, and in most areas it seems to be a misdemeanor, which is still pretty serious in my book, and it can lead to fine, imprisonment, and even dog confiscation. Yes, taking away your dog. So that's why I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 in terms of seriousness. I'm also giving this a decent likelihood of being an issue for us Doberman owners, a 5 out of 10, because honestly, most of us don't even really think to check to see if a certain breed of dog that we choose is outlawed simply because of their breed. I mean, crazy, right? But it does happen. You see, there's something called breed-specific legislation, or BSL for short, which is basically any law that applies to a dog simply because of what breed it is. And unfortunately, if a state in the US doesn't have a specific ban against breed-specific legislation, then the cities or counties within that state are generally free to make laws banning certain dogs just because of their breed. In fact, only the following states ban local governments within them from enacting breed-specific legislation. They are Arizona, Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Maine, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Utah, and Washington. So in other words, if you live in any other state than what's highlighted in this light blue here on this map, then there might be a local level breed ban on your Doberman. In fact, I did a video a while back all about where Dobermans are specifically banned in the US and in the world, and it's actually a really insightful video and really eye-opening as to all the places where just owning one of these amazing dogs is completely illegal. And that video should be popping up in this corner of your screen right there if you'd like to check that out. The next way Doberman owners can find themselves in serious trouble, and this can be far, far more serious, is by training their dog in bite sports or protection work. Now, I know this is a controversial thing because people love their bite sports, and actually they are pretty cool in my opinion, and there are some definite benefits to participating in them. But just hear me out on this one. While participating in bite sports is definitely legal in most places, if you are ever sued because your Doberman bit someone and you happen to have trained your Doberman in either bite sports or protection work, then this is gonna feel pretty serious to you too, trust me. Also, there have actually been examples of murder charges being brought up against owners who have trained their dog to bite. For example, in 1997, a woman named Sabine Davidson owned 2 Rottweilers that she was training in Schutzhund, which is now called IGP, and her dogs ended up killing an 11-year-old boy who was waiting for the school bus. Super tragic, but she was ultimately convicted of second-degree murder and was sentenced to 12 years in prison as a result. Now, there are other examples also of bite sport and protection dogs mauling and killing someone, and if that happens and you need to say on the stand that you trained your dog to bite other people, it could be a serious issue for you. Because of this, I'm rating this as a 10 out of 10 in terms of seriousness, but only a 2 out of 10 on the likeliness scale. And that's because I think it's safe to say that most owners who get their Dobermans involved in bite sports just seem to generally be pretty caring and responsible owners. Plus, they typically really value a highly trained and well-behaved dog. So yes, this is very serious if it does happen, of course, but it's just not terribly likely in my book. Oh, and if you want to see more about the pros and cons of the bite sports and protection training for your Doberman, if you're curious about that, check out a video I did all about that popping up right there in the corner of your screen. There's a lot more that goes into protection training a Doberman than you might think. If you're thinking about getting a Doberman, or maybe you've already have a Doberman, don't forget to look at the long list of totally free resources available to you right now at DobermanPlanet.com, which is my website that I've painstakingly put together over many years. Now it's just chock full of resources for new and experienced Doberman owners to help them on their journey with their dog. At my site, you'll find everything from recommended dog products that work extremely well for this breed to free training guides to feeding guides, even a really in-depth decision guide on how to decide what type of Doberman is right for you. There's just so much available there for free to you. I'm not even scratching the surface, and I'm adding to it constantly. Seriously, I'm always making a new resource for Doberman owners, and it's always available on my site, DobermanPlanet.com, so definitely go check it out. If you found this video at all interesting, insightful, or maybe just, I don't know, kind of cool, maybe you just like seeing Dobermans on the screen a lot, please hit that subscribe button down below. And honestly, the most important thing that you can do is hit that notification bell as well. A lot of people don't hit that, and then they end up messaging me asking why they didn't see my newest release, which they loved once they found it. Well, that's why. You gotta hit that notification bell or you'll be up the creek, so to speak. Like we always say here at Doberman Planet, keep being great Doberman breed ambassadors. Spread the word about this amazing breed of dog. And of course, I'll see you again on the next one.